All right.
So you're Dan Pevar, and I'm Katie Lightcap, and we co-write the Poker Pauly comic strip. And we're in Westchester, Pennsylvania, at the New Haven Pizza Place. And are you originally from Westchester, or what?
I'm from Kennett Square, and I live in Westchester now. For the last 5 years, I've lived here.
That's cool. I'm from pretty far away, like 45 minutes away from here. Pretty small town, Roseburg. So where did you get the idea to do this comic strip from?
Well, as a matter of fact, I got the idea for the comic strip while I was working at a poker store in town. It's like an online poker store where I did shipping and receiving, and so I came in contact with a lot of the poker supplies that get shipped out through internet websites, and this particular store was called No Limit Poker Store, and it was a short experience working there, but while I was working there, I had the idea for the comic strip, and I started writing it, and I tried to get my boss at the time to publish it on the internet, but I eventually gave up on that idea, and I got a different job. But after I got the other job, I found that I wanted to make the comic strip for real, so I found an artist to help make it. Then later on I found Katie to help co-write it.
So where did the idea for the talking objects come from?
Well, that's actually an idea from an old comic strip I started to develop called Gab World.
I remember that one. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, with that comic strip, it was about two families that had different relationships with each other, and they had different talking objects that were characters in the comic strip. So in Poker Pauly, you'll see different characters. There's a cactus as a character that's a talking cactus, and there's talking poker chips and cards, and there's also a talking TV. So there's different characters, and there's going to be more characters to come too that are going to be more inanimate objects that are talkers.
That's really cool. So you have new stuff right here. I'm actually going to edit it later today or something.
Mm-hmm.
What's the storyline you're working on?
Well, the story I'm working on right now is about where Pauly takes the cactus, Augie, out for a walk in the neighborhood, and then Pauly gets very angry at Augie for giving him some kind of attitude. Then he just leaves him in the street there, stranded in his little wagon. And then later on, Elbow comes along and takes Augie home, and there's a little bit of drama going on between him and Augie and Pauly. And that's the storyline right now. In the comic strip, I've found that it's a pretty fun thing to write these little storylines that take place in the comic strip in addition to the standalone strips.
It's pretty funny. I mean, what happens if maybe somebody tries to water him or something? That'd be pretty funny. Yeah. So can everybody hear the objects talk, or just Pauly and Cynthia and Elbow?
Yeah, everybody can hear the objects talk. They're just like living characters. They don't necessarily move around so much, but they are alive and they kind of talk. So I wanted to ask you some questions about your background too, though, actually. So how did you first get into writing comedy and things like that?
I've always been, interested in communication. I actually went to school for graphic design, and I never really did anything with it. It was really the words and the communication that I was into. And I actually, when I was really young, I think it was probably maybe 2002, 2003, I tried to do some stand-up, and I remember you actually gave me some one-liners to work on, and that's how whatever 5 years later this all comes about. That's about it. I keep a blog. Besides that, sometimes I'll do poetry open mics, down in Chaplin in Spring City. But I mean, besides that, I keep it light. I just work most of the time. So.
What's your artistic background like?
Well, my dad's a painter. He actually painted in New Jersey on the beaches. He would paint pictures of the beaches, pretty nice stuff, but the funny thing is that he wasn't allowed to sell them, so he would just set them up, and people would just come and buy them if they wanted them. And I guess that's how I got the idea that I wanted to be some kind of artist. And my brother used to do comic book kind of stuff, but I never really got the idea in my head that it would be, a successful kind of thing, so just for fun.
Yeah. Do you have any hopes and aspirations for the future, where you see yourself in 20 years or something like that?
Oh God, 20 years. I hope I'm just still alive. How about you?
Well, I kind of want to see the comic strip take off and get in the newspapers. I'm hoping that it makes it that far. And right now, I think there's a good chance of that because I've got a really talented team of people helping create the comic strip, and it's really a fun project to work on. So I think it's coming along pretty well. because I only had the idea for the comic strip about 3.5 months ago. So right now it's on the internet. It's being published on about 6 websites, and there's links to the comic strip at about 4 or 5 other websites, and so it's just coming along pretty well.
All right, cool, very cool. All right,
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.